Okay, so like I said, we're going to take these facts of these different type of angle pairs and throwing in some more Algebra 1 stuff into this. Okay, the first thing is to notice that it says up here that all these lines are parallel, okay? And how do we know if two lines are parallel?
Extra set of arrowheads.
Okay, you see a little extra set of arrowheads. Again, that just indicates that it's parallel. So let's think about it. This angle right here and this angle right here. What type of angles are those? Okay, yep. Okay, good. They're same side exterior. And if the lines are parallel, what's true of them? They are supplementary. Okay, so what does supplementary mean?
Equals to 180.
Okay, they add up to equal 180. All right. So to write the equation, how do you think we would write this out here?
X squared minus 4x
Equals 180.
Okay, x squared minus 4x, that's that obtuse angle, plus, how big is the other angle?
Negative 4x.
Negative 4x. I'm just putting these in parentheses just so you can see the difference between them. Okay, so together those equal what?
180.
180. All right. So we need to combine like terms here. So the x squared, is there anything to combine with it?
No.
Nope, there's no other x squared, so that one's going to stay by itself for now. So I have a negative 4x and another negative 4x. So
Negative 8x.
good, I can put those together as negative 8x equal to 180. Okay, so now I need to solve for x. I need to find the value of x here. So what do you think we might do here?
Divide 180 by 8. Negative 8.
Okay,
I think.
okay, so just leave yours alone. Don't write what I'm about to write. I mean, you should already have what I have now, but what I'm about to write, don't write this, okay, till I tell you to. So let's say, all right, maybe we divide everything by an x. Again, don't write this because this is not going to work. I just want you to see this. Okay, so what is x squared divided by x? X. And over here, what's negative 8x divided by x?
Negative 8.
Because the x is turned into 1, so that's like a negative 8. Then we have a 180 over x here. That's going to cause a problem right there. So that won't work. Okay, let me back it on up, back it on up. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, if I divide by negative 8, that's still not going to do it. Okay, so let me show you. All right, does anybody have any ideas about what we're going to do here?
Do you have to go with
Can we combine the x squared and the negative 8x?
No.
No, they're not like terms, so they cannot get put together. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to subtract 180 from both sides. I'm going to bring the 180 to the left-hand side over here. So it's going to look like this. X squared minus 8x minus 180 equals 0.
Oh, yeah, I remember doing this.
Oh, I remember.
I remember this.
It's really
Okay.
it's just kept on talking about it.
This is definitely Algebra 1 stuff here.
Just keep going and I'll remember.
All right. Now, from here, we've already done some stuff like what we're about to do. It was very early on, probably 6 or 7 weeks ago. So what I want to do here is I want to factor this now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for factors of negative 180 that added together give me negative 8. So let me just start running through the list here. 1 times 180 is 180. What else could I multiply? What else could I multiply to get 180? 2 and 90. What else?
3 and 60.
3 and 60.
18 and 10.
4 and 45.
1 and 180.
5 and 36.
6 and 30.
6 and 30. 7 won't.
8 and
Oh.
10 and 18.
9 and 10.
Okay, 9 times 20 is 180.
Just kidding. Got it.
10 times 18. and 12 times 15. Those are all the factors, I think.
10 and 8 and 10 is 8.
No, you missed it.
Okay?
Are you supposed to like make it subtract and equals 8 instead
What
of
about-
adding?
Yes, we're about to get there. I just wanted to list out the factors right now. Okay? So look, what we've done so far, 1 times 180 is 180. 2 times 90 is 180. 3 times 60 is 180. 4 times 45 is 180. So that's what this list is just numbers that multiply together to give me 180. But notice that this is a negative 180, right? So when you multiply two numbers together, how do you get a negative number as a result?
Add negative.
One has to be negative, one has to be positive, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's part of what we need to think about. The other thing I need to think about now is whenever I add those two numbers together, it needs to give me a negative 8.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to have to change, one of these have to be negative, and when I add them, it has to give me this negative 8 right
10
here.
and 18.
So which one of these is going to get me to 8?
10 and
10 and
18.
18.
10 and 18 is my best bet for getting to 8. Now,
Which one's
again,
negative?
I need whenever I add these together, I need it to be a negative 8. So which one of these is going to have to be negative?
10.
10. 18.
It's got to be that 18, right? Okay, so again, think about this. What is 10 times negative 18? Is negative 180, so that's good. Then what is 10 plus negative 18?
Negative 8.
Is negative 8. So that's what I want, okay? All right, so that's what I need. So we have x plus 10, and we have x minus 18 equal to 0.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that just has it factored. That doesn't tell me what the actual values of the x are. I mean, from here it's easy, but this is not the final answer, okay? So what I need to do is to set each one of those pieces equal to 0, okay? Like x plus 10 needs to be set equal to 0, and x minus 18 needs to be equal to 0. Okay, and I'll show you why in just a second, but, okay, so I'm just setting each one of these pieces equal to 0. So to solve for x, what do I need to do here?
X negative 10.
So subtract 10 on both sides, and it just gives me x equals negative 10. And on this other one, what am I going to do to solve for x?
X equals positive 18.
Add 18 to both sides, and x equals positive 18. Right? So those are my two values of x right there. X equals negative 10, and x equals positive 18. Okay? Now, let me show you why that's true, okay? Think about this. If I take this negative 10 right here, okay, if I take negative 10 and go back up to, let me just box it in real quick. Let me go back to this right here. Okay, so if I take this negative 10 and I plug it in right here for this x, what is negative 10 plus 10?
0.
Is 0. And I don't care what this is, 0 times anything is what?
0.
Is 0, okay? If I would have left this as 10, if I would have said x is 10, what's 10 plus 10?
20.
20. And then if I would have had 10 here, so 10 minus 18 would be what?
Negative 8.
Be negative 8. So 20 times negative 8 would be what? Negative 160 and not 0.
Oh.
Okay? So same thing here. If I take 18 and plug it in here, what's 18 minus 18? 0. And I don't even care what that is. What's 0 times anything?
0.
Is 0. So these are my values of x that I need right here. Okay? So it's x equals negative 10 and x equals positive 18. Now, the question is, which one of those values of x makes the angle actually equal to what it looks like on the paper? Okay? So what I'm going to do now is take negative 10 and take 18 and plug them back in and see which one makes sense. So let's go ahead and plug in the negative 10 here. So I'm going to have negative 10 squared minus 4 times negative 10. So let's think about this. What is negative 10 squared? Is 100, and what's negative 4 times negative 10?
40.
It's 40. So what's 100 plus 40?
Oh, excuse me. 140.
Okay, is 140. Does it look reasonable that that angle right there is 140 degrees? That looks pretty reasonable to me. But let's try the 18, okay, and see what the 18 does. So if I plug in 18 here, we have 18 squared minus 4 times 18. Just type that in your calculator real quick. 18 squared minus 4 times 18. 252 degrees. Does that angle look like it could be 252 degrees?
No.
Nope. So which value of x makes this what it's supposed to be? Is negative 10, okay? So the x equals negative 10 is the one I need. Okay, and then the other question is, so how big are both of those angles? And we just found one of them, it's 140 degrees. So how big is the acute angle down there then? It's 40. If you take that negative 10 and plug it in there, negative 4 times negative 10 gives you positive 40. Also, you know it has to be supplementary to that. So, yep, it's 40 degrees. Okay, number 2. This angle right here and this angle right here. What are these?
Same side interior.
Same side interior. So if the lines are parallel, and they are,
Supplementary.
what do I know? They're supplementary. Okay? So they're same side interior, they're supplementary. So what's my equation going to look like here?
X squared minus 4x plus 3x squared minus 15x.
Okay, equals 180. All right. So like that. All right, now on the left-hand side, is there any like terms we can combine?
Yeah.
What?
Negative 1x and negative 15x and then x squared and then 3x.
Okay, good. So we have a 1x squared and a 3x squared. What's that going to make? 4x squared. And then I have a negative 1x and a negative 15x. What's that going to make? Negative 16x equals 180. Now, we're in the same place we were on the last one, okay? I can't cancel out the x squared. I can't cancel out the x. So when I have two of those,
Subtract 180.
I'm going to have to do something else. So I'm going to move this over, 4x squared minus 16x, and subtract 180 from both sides. So I'm going to have a negative 180 on the left side, and if I take 180 from the right side, that's just going to leave 0 there. Now, on this one, we have a little different going on here because up here, it was just x squared. Here, we have a 4x squared.
No.
So can I pull out a greatest common factor out of those on the left-hand side there? What could I pull out? I can pull out a 4, okay? So if I divide a 4 out of 4x squared, what does that leave?
1.
A 1x squared. If I divide 4 out of negative 16x,
3 is negative 4x.
negative 4x. And if I divide 4 out of negative 180, what does that leave?
45.
Negative 45. Okay? Now, let's think of factors of negative 45 that add up to negative 4. So let's just run through our list.
1 and 45.
145,
3 and 15.
3 and 15,
4 and 9. No. 4 and, wait, no. Not,
No,
wait,
it's
hold on.
9.
9 and 6. No, it's not. Hold on.
No, it's in
Oh, it's
5 and 9. There you go.
5 and 9. I was getting
You're bouncing all around it. You got it. You got it, Phil.
I was getting there.
Okay, I think that's all of them.
Oh, wait.
So which of those groups, which one of those pairs is going to get me to 4? It's going to be that. Now again, the product of those two needs to be negative. So one of those needs to be negative.
The 5. No, the 9.
The 9. Because I need the results of the sum of those to be a negative. So I have a 4 on the outside. I have x plus 5 and x minus 9. So again, it's not that x equals 5 and that x equals negative 9. It's the flip of that. So what's it going to be?
Negative 5 and x.
X equals negative 5 and x equals positive 9. Again, think about it like this. If I take negative 5 and plug it in here, what's negative 5 plus 5?
0.
Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. What's 4 times 0?
0.
And 0 times whatever that is what?
0.
Is 0. See, that's what makes this equation right here true.
Okay.
Being Negative 5 is what makes this equation true. If this were positive 5, that'd be 5 plus 5, that'd be 10. 4 times 10 would be 40. And then 4 minus that would be negative 5, so that would be, 40 times negative 5 would be negative 200, not 0. Okay? So it's got to be this negative 5. And then same thing for the 9. The 9 minus 9 makes this 0. 0 times whatever that is makes it equal to 0. All right. So those are my values of x that I need. X is negative 5 and x is 9. Either one of those values will make that equation true. Now the question is, which one of those values of x will make this angle to the correct measurement of what it looks like on the paper? So let's take both of these and plug them in. All right, let's do it right here. So negative 5 squared minus 1 times negative 5. All right, so what is negative 5 squared? And then, so 25 and then negative 1 times negative 5 is what? Positive 5. So what's 25 plus 5? Would be 30. Okay, does that look like that could be 30?
No.
No, because whenever I drew these, they're not exact, but I mean, I got them pretty close to being the right measurement. So that's not very close to 30. So let's try the other one. Let's try 9. So if I plug in 9 here, 9 squared minus 1 times 9. So 81 minus 9 is what? 72. So does 72 look like a good number for that?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the one. Okay? So the correct number here is that x equals 9. That angle is 72. And so how big is the other angle going to be? 108. I mean, you could do that the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is I know they're supplementary. So 72 and 108 add up to 108. Or you could take 9 and plug it in, do 3 times 9 squared minus 15 times 9. But that's the harder way. Okay, number 3. So this angle right here and this angle right here, what are these?
Alternate exterior.
Yep, alternate exterior. And so if the lines are parallel, and they are, what do I know about those? They are congruent. So that just means that they're equal. Let's set them equal to each other. Okay, so yep, I'm just going to set them equal to each other like that, and now we're going to solve for x. Now we need to combine like terms. There's an x squared on both sides, there's an x on both sides, and there's a constant on both sides. So I need to get all those together. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do it all in one shot. Okay? So I'm going to subtract 7x squared from both sides. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. That zeroes out, that zeroes out, that zeroes out. And so on that side, 0 plus 0 plus 0 is just 0. And over on the right-hand side, or the left-hand side,
X squared minus 7x plus minus 18.
minus 18. All right. Now, same thing. I need factors of negative 18 that add up to negative 7. So 118, 29, 36. I think that's all of them. So which of those pair is going to get me to 7? Is 2, 9. And the 18 is negative, so I need one of those to be negative, and I need to get it to a negative 7 when I add them. So which one needs to be negative?
9.
The 9. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18, but then 2 plus negative 9 is negative 7, so that's it. So x plus 2 and x minus 9 equals 0.
So x equals negative 7x.
Okay, good. So the values of x that are going to make that equation true is going to be x equal to negative 2 and x equal to positive 9. All right. So x equals negative 2 and x equals positive 9. Okay? Now let's think about which one of those is going to get us to where we need to be. Both of those are relatively small acute angles. So let's start off with negative 2. 7 times negative 2 squared plus 3 times negative 2 plus 20. So just type that in and make sure you're putting that negative 2 in parentheses, because if you don't, especially on the squared part, it'll mess it up.
It's 38.
It gives you 38? Okay, does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Kind of,
Or it's a little, I feel like it's a little too small.
yeah.
Okay, let's try, what's the other one? 9.
32? I got 42.
I got 42.
Yeah, I know how to do math.
You got what?
I got 42.
Okay, I'm just taking your word for it. I forgot what it was. What is it?
42.
42. So y'all thought that was a little bit small. If y'all are guessing that good, then y'all are definitely doing good. All right. So let's plug in 9 and see what happens. So 7 times 9 squared plus 3 times 9 plus 20. What does that give you? That's going to be a big number.
Super big.
I mean, relatively big.
No wonder. I mixed the numbers up. Yeah.
614.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, it's 42.
So which value of x do I need here?
42.
Okay, the negative 2, and that makes those angles 42 degrees each. Okay? And again, you've done all this math in Algebra 1, and we've already done this stuff together in here. Okay, let's look on the back. Okay, these two angles over here is what I mean. What type of angles are these?
Same side out exterior.
Same side exterior? Yep, and so what do I know about same side exterior? Or supplementary? Okay, so what's that equation going to look like?
4x plus 8 plus 3y plus 6
Equals one.
equals 1.
All right, now I want to find the value of x and y. The problem I've got here is that there's an x and a y in my equation. And if I solve for either one of those variables, the other variable is going to be on the other side. And so I'm not just going to get like a pure number. So one variable is going to be solved in terms of another one, and I don't want that. Okay? So right there, I've got a problem. But we do have a way to solve this, because within the same system, there's another relationship that's going on. There's something else that's happening within the same system. So over here, when I think about these, what's up with these? What type are these?
Same side. Or corresponding, I mean.
They're corresponding. Okay? And so if the lines are parallel, and they are, what do I know about corresponding? They're congruent. So how would I set up the equation on that?
3x plus 10 equals 6y plus 19.
Okay, 3x plus 10 equals 6y plus 19. Now I've got the same problem here. I've got an x and a y. And so let me just show you what I meant earlier when I said that we're going to have a problem because one variable is going to be solved in terms of another. And we need to do this math anyways. So let's solve for x here. What would be my first step?
Minus 10.
Subtract 10 from both sides. Okay, and so 10 minus 10 is 0, so I have 3x equals 6y what? Plus 9. Okay, then divide both sides by 3. Now I've got to divide every piece by 3. So we have 1x equals 2y, and then 9 divided by 3 is 3. So x equals 2y plus 3. See, and that's my problem, is I want to know what x is. I don't want to know what x is in terms of y. But, okay, now I've got two equations happening within the same system. And so if it were just the first equation,
You would get the answer.
they could vary together, and I mean, there would be an infinite number of solutions. But with this second equation, now it locks it into place, where Now, sorry, I'm gonna use this to find what both of them are. Now from here, there's a lot of ways we could do this. Okay, we could do elimination, we could do substitution, we could graph it and see where they cross each other. There's all kinds of methods we could use. But the way I've already started this is for us to do substitution. So I know x equals 2y plus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fact of x equals 2y plus 3 and I'm going to plug it in up here. So every place there's an x up here, I'm going to plug in 2y plus 3. All right, so let me go back up here. So I'm going to have a 4, and in place of that x, what did I say it was? 2y plus 3 plus 8, there's no x there, plus 3y, there's no x there, plus 6, no x there, plus 180, no x there. So there was only one x. Okay, now I'm out of room right there, so what I'm going to do is take the rest of this work and I'm going to put it right down here. So, what do you think my first step is going to be there?
Minus the y.
Distribute. So the 4 goes into the parentheses, so 4 times 2y plus 3 is what?
8y plus 12.
8y plus 12, then still with the plus 8, still with the plus 3y, the plus 6 equals 180. Now, what did I fix? What's good now? There's only one variable now. So on this, whenever I solve for y, that's it. And so whenever I get y by itself, it will be just a pure number that y is equal to. It'll just be a constant. All right, so 8y and 3y makes what? 11y. Then 12, 8, and 6 make what? 26 equals 180. Minus 26 from both sides. Okay, that zeroes out. We have 11y equals 154 divided by 11. And what does y equal? Okay, so there we go. Now we've got a piece of it. Now I know what y equals. Now from here, I can take that and I can plug that value of y basically into any of the equations that I've set up. So what I want to do is just go to the easiest one that I have. What's the easiest equation I've got?
2y plus 3.
X equals 2y plus 3. So if I take 14 and plug it in right there, 2 times 14 plus 3, what's 2 times 14?
28.
And 28 plus 3?
31.
It's 31. So there you go. X equals 31.
That was smart.
All right. Now what I want to do is I want to find out how big these angles are. And from here it's easy. It's just plugging in to see what it is. So I've got my values of x and y right there. X is 31, y is 14. So I'm going to go back up here to this equation right here, 3y plus 6. What does y equal?
14.
14. So I'm going to do 3 times 14 plus 6. Is what?
42 plus 6, I think 48. 48?
48.
No. I don't know that.
Yep. Okay. X is 31, so 4 times 31 plus 8 is what? What does that give me?
132.
132.
It is 42. It's not 48.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but plus 6.
Yeah, oh, there
There you go. Okay. So here, 3 times 31 plus 10 plus 10, 103. And then here I've got 6 times 14 plus 19.
I did that wrong. 103.
Which,
Oh, it's corresponding to this one.
those better be the same, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the way we set up the whole thing. So those should be equal.